At our last house in Texas, we had Plantation shutters installed in several rooms. We had them done professionally, and this was kind of before I had started dabbling with my woodworking. The shutters, we had them done professionally. They cost around about $900 to $1,000 per window to have done, and we've since moved to Tennessee, retired, and the house we bought has lots of old kind of your standard blinds in it, and the wife decided she wanted plantation shutters in several of the rooms. So as I started doing a little bit of woodworking, I figured I'd take it upon myself to actually build some plantation shutters. I did a bit of research. The biggest issue was going to be the actual louvers for the actual shutters. I found Rockler had most of everything I wanted, including the louvers, but the louvers were a 58 inches long and cost about $9 for one piece. Actually, $10 for one piece. And so when I estimated how many I have needed for the project, which was going to be 11 windows at this point in time, probably another 4 or 5 more when I'm finished, it was going to cost me about $2,600 just in shutters alone. The Rockler louvers are very nice. They come in a 58-inch length. I needed most of my shutters in this current build are around about 30 to 32 inches in length, which basically means I would get one louver out of one piece and have an awful lot of waste. So I decided I'd have a go at making my own. And so with the cost of buying them, I decided I would buy a molding machine and have a go at making my own. And I figured I could buy the wood, I could buy the machine, which was about $1,500. I decided on the ShopFox W1812, and still be ahead than just buying the louvers themselves. So that's what I did. I bought the ShopFox. I ordered blades to do the shutters from custommoldingknives.com. I'll put information about that in this video. Basically required 2 sets of blades. The first was the actual set of blades, the elliptical curves on the actual louver, and the second one was to basically make a bed, okay, with basically a complement blade of the one for the louvers that would provide support while I was actually machining the louvers after they'd had one pass through the molding machine. So I started off making, this is my first bed. It's just a piece of maple, and I use this bed to make a first pass cut on the louvers when the louver is basically still a piece of rectangular cross section like this. I'm making 3.5 inch wide louvers by 1/2 inch deep. So this is 3.5 inches wide by just a hair over 1/2 inch, so that the molding machine will actually take a little bit of a cut across off the top surface. Basically, all of one side of this louver gets cut. So I did about 250 louvers, so I ended up with a curved side and a flat side. And the second part was to run all of the blades again through the molding machine with a bed that was cut by this curved blade. Of course, there's 2 of these in a set. Bought these also. I bought the cheapest grade cutting steel because these are only going to get used to basically make the sacrificial bed or the support bed for cutting doing the second cut on the louvers. This is the bed attached to my machine. Hopefully you can see with the curve there, which is used to support the louver as it goes through to make the second pass. This is the ShopFox molding machine that I bought, and so far has worked very well. It runs on 230 volts, running off I'm running off a 20 amp circuit, but with 15 amp cord, and it runs very well. It has a 4 inch port dust extractor, and so far my jet dust collector has managed to keep up with it for the most part. I have made a lot of bags of sawdust. It does produce a lot of waste doing these louvers, and I've gone through 6 39-gallon bags of clippings in the process. The molding machine, very easy to set up. Pull this pin out, the machine is unplugged. Pull this pin out and remove the guard. And then that basically exposes the blade. There are 2 blades. The machine does come with a set of 8-inch planer blades, so it can be used as a planer, and if you so desire. I already have a different planer, so I have no real use for it in that mode. But you basically take these 4 bolts out, put your blade in. There is a little bit of slack left to right on the bolts. Obviously these holes are slightly larger than the threaded portion of the bolts that they rest against, so when I put them in, I basically just like push them to one side, hoping that both blades would align the same. So this was the blade that I used to cut the bed on this particular support piece. I put a mark on the center of the blade and on the center of one of the louvers that I'd cut, so I could align this bed laterally to get it lined up so that just the edges here would cut the blinds properly, and that was it. And it was basically a matter of just standing here feeding 200 plus of these items in here and making a lot of chippings.